Hey guys, welcome back. And it's time for another video in this series. And this one, we're going to be working on the coat, the buttons, well, the little straps to hold the coat together, and the sash on the belt. Now, after you saw the last video, we went over detailing the shirt and the pants. And in that time, while I was away, I actually did a little editing of the shirt and pants to make the wrinkles feel a little more natural to me, or at least somewhat natural. You know, I'm no expert in modeling wrinkles. So without further ado, let's begin with the jacket by showing what I have here. So with this, you saw the last video, the jacket was a little bit different than this. I unfortunately had a problem with the jacket, you know, and I sat down and I figured, you know what, I want the jacket to be symmetrical. So that's easier to work with, and not only that too, for the ease of mapping onto the weight maps in game. So what I did was I went ahead and redid a whole new jacket in Marvel Designer and exported that jacket. And then I also deleted like half of the jacket and had it zero meshed so that it looked a little cleaner to model on. And also went ahead and raised this part here so that the cat runs or he jumps, it looks a little more interesting. And plus also too, the simulation, and plus I wanted to try something different with the workflow for this. So without further ado, let's begin with modeling this jacket. So it's at 20,000 polygons, which is okay for what we're working with here. And it is kind of it does look dense, but the ZBrush, you know, density doesn't matter much. It's gonna look great regardless what we do. So I'm gonna go ahead now and start with the clay build-up brush. Start pushing in this back area here. I want, you know, under the model there's a belt under here. I call the subtool a ceremonial sash. And actually, while we're here, while we're on the topic of that, let me go ahead now and just prepare the sash for any kind of preparation for modeling. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a quick zero mesh on it. Yeah. Alright, good. That's pretty good for me, you know. Just so that in the next step we can actually add thickness to the belt. So on the jacket, we're gonna go ahead now and start pushing in this form. So the Alt key, I'm gonna go and start pushing it in. Push it. Push it good. Let's go a little stronger on the brush because I want to get this in there, work a little faster. And I want to like keep pushing a form until I hit the other layers. Which I try not to do because what I'm also going to do is I want to also, actually it's already done already, so I won't do any more inflating in this. I also want to make sure that I have enough room under the jacket to give the so here we are, we're getting close to the back of the shirt. Let's smooth this out a little bit. So basically we're going to go ahead and just smooth out a little bit so that I'm trying to make sure that when I turn on the transform, turn on transparent edit opacity, I want it to be able to see where the jacket is in relation to the character's body. So it's getting close now to the back. So we're going to go ahead and keep brushing until we get to the belt or some form of it. There we go. And also too, we're gonna also make sure that brushing it up so that we do thicken the cloth up. It won't clip through the body too much. Keep going. It's also why we made the jacket symmetrical too, so that if you want to, we can easily fix the jacket. So here we go. There we go. So we'll keep going. And I'm gonna keep on. I'm kind of brushing between here so that Actually brush on there, like so. And I had it before Marvelous Designer. It looked really, really great. I mean, it looked marvelous to me. But you know, no pun intended. But I wanted to try a different workflow and see how far I could take the modeling as far as the code's concerned. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go in and brush the model there, and I mean it'll look weird now, but in a few once you get this part figured out, it'll look great if you get it in there. And see right here, and right over here is where it gets. There we go. Kind of the impression of we're trying to give the impression of the belt being tight on the character. So I'm gonna model some detail on this area there, but I wanted to make sure that that it works symmetrically first. So we're kind of going in and to the poly frame to see where the code is going to be. You know. All right, so go ahead and build over. And the belt does look a little tight on them, so I'm gonna go into my deformer tab and inflate a little more. Give it a little more inflate. There we go. Actually, yeah, a little more inflation, so that doesn't feel so tight. There we go. That's about right there. Now this part too, we don't want this part bulging out on the bottom, so we're gonna take that back a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna turn that back just a little bit. I'm kind of toning down the areas that are poking out of the model a little bit, so that they don't poke through. Because also too, when we do the once we get in game, doing the cloth simulation, this I think this lower half up to like somewhere under the belt we'll all be doing a cloth. And if I wanted to now, I could probably just take this vertex here and split it so that it's a little more so they'll give a little more room to simulation. But we'll see what happens when I get to that point. You know, most likely I'll come back in and split the vertices split the vertex right in the middle of everything, like right about up to here, so that when it animates, it'll look like a trench coat or like something flying in the air or something. But we'll see where it takes us. And you also bear in mind too, I have a trim on the side here. We want for extra detail. Right. Talking too much. Let's keep working. There. And basically, it's gonna. I don't want bulging out too much. So I'm gonna trying to go in there and fix it so that it won't bulge as much. It didn't take long at all to get this portion. Actually, it's actually worked out quite well. I'm gonna come in here real quick and fix this little bulge right here that I don't want. Model. We'll go ahead and scroll it down a little bit, and we'll pull in the points so that I'll pull in the points a little bit so that they're not poking out of the model. It took a while to like really get in there and try to fix your model so that it looks really decent when it goes in. All right, so that's pretty much a basis of my modeling. Well, yeah, let's go a little more up here. You notice how there's things poking through. We'll fix that later. And that's the nature of ZBrush. With the power of ZBrush, you'll be able to sculpt your model and fix it cleanly, no problems. I mean, this program has been on my front lines for the last 10 years now. Actually, 11 years actually. And I wouldn't. If there's any other program on the planet I'd rather use is ZBrush. And I think Pixelogic has done a bang up job in making the software like, if not the best in the world to use for your modeling work. All right, so now we got the form blocked in. So, and also one thing too I want to mention as well is that I do not want any detail from this point down, because it's going to be controlled in game with cloth tools that I've recently acquired. So the next part here, I'm not too fond of the curve in this. So, you know, looking at the back, I kind of like this a little better, little profile. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna fix this profile. I think if it'll allow me to. I can gently pull the polygons to left or right. I kind of want to close this. I kind of want to, you know, make this a little more you know, a little more what do you call it? You know, kind of a little more what do you call it? I guess a little more rounded, I guess, in this area here, like right here in MD. This part was difficult to pull, so I ended up just bringing ZBrush and tweaking it to my liking. And the best feature about this particular cloth detailing here as well is the best part about this as well is during the topology phase, I can always tweak the polygons in here so that they're not as heavy. These straps here will serve as a 3D normal, you know, or 3D or 3D or detail mesh on top of this. Something I use quite often in my work, but this character will probably make the most use of it. Let's back a little bit. I kind of want to pull this back a little so that it'll just look at it. Okay, it looks pretty good to me. So the next step in this process is we're going to make, you know, iterating thickness. You know, I mean, thickness, you know, it took a while to think about, because I, you know, want to make sure that with the correct thickness, we can actually get our model looking realistic as possible. Well, not realistic as possible, but looking believable. So I'm going to go into my panel loops, my edge loop panel. Let's solo this. And you notice how we have our little poly groups here. Well, and on top of this, the model's already UV mapped. So we can basically go in just to make sure. Go ahead and do a quick unwrap, just for my sanity. There we go. And then panel loops, we can go ahead and hit panel loops and make sure that, I mean, please remember too that we work inside of Marvelous Designer. The skin simulation, there's a skin offset in the program, which prevents the cloth from penetrating the model. So keep this in mind when you bring this to ZBrush, that MD is also bringing in that cloth that thickness we put in the cloth when we created it. So we're gonna go ahead now and go to hit panel loops, and that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go a little more on the thickness, on the thick side of this. So basically, I was tempted, like, take a pair of calipers at work and basically measure how thick the cloth would be. And this is my perfection kicking in. This is my perfectionism kicking in right now. You know, I'm a little bothered by this. I'm gonna fix that little edge there. Here we go. Pretty good. And notice how we haven't done any subdivision levels yet on this. You know, and considering too the models, the base mesh is so dense right now that we won't need a high subdivision level yet for this particular piece. All right, so anyway, back to my point. We're going to set up panel loops on this jacket, on this big giant rope here, and go ahead and set it up so that it'll have some thickness to it. Now, if you're noticing now that between poly groups, you'll notice that they're all here on the outside, but nothing on the inside. That's because the panel loops it's not aware of your UVs on the outside. It's not really aware that there's panel loops on the outside, so it's going to assume that it's going to be all one piece. But I found out recently that if you actually do this and you find there's no poly groups on the inside, we can go to poly groups and hit auto groups with UV, and basically they poly groups are restored now. And what happened was, if you UV after your model early in this process, you'll notice that you'll get UVs in the same place as well with this. This is great. We want that. We want UVs in the same place. And also with these groups here, it'll also help us. It'll also help us with it will help us with placement of detail later, such as, let's say you want little roses or something on the trim. You can actually map it in such a way that it'll actually make it'll allow you to tie your detail along it. Anyway, enough out of me. Let's continue working. So now that we have the this thing here fixed up, I want to do the same thing I did earlier on the shirt, the little panels. Well, first things first, of course, let's fix this belt. It's kind of looks weird right now because I was looking for a certain look in MD and I couldn't find it right away. So I'm gonna go ahead now and just I'll pull his edges up a little bit so that it feels more like a belt and not like a piece of rubber pulled too tight. And actually, too, I'm gonna go ahead to my zero measure tool and I'm gonna go half in this polygon count because it is kind of high right now. We don't need it that high. A little more. All right, right about this, good. So actually, all right, that's good. That's a pretty good sweet spot right there. And I'll fix that little break right there on the edge. Not hard to do. Go ahead and hit stitch, midpoint. I'm going to pick one, the other, boom. And then of course we're going to go ahead and make sure that the symmetry is fine. Sorry, not symmetry. Make sure the symmetry is still intact because you don't want to lose that information. Resend, and there you go, right there. All right, that's good for us. And now we're gonna go back and fix it so that the edges are a little more straight. It is a little more straight and sorry. Edges a little more straight, and we're gonna try to fix it so that so it was smooth. It'll look a little cleaner and smooth. Hit the D key to turn on dynamic subdivisions, and you basically want this as smooth as possible. So you're gonna make sure that's clean and nice and smooth, and there are no divots in the mesh. We don't want anything like that happening to us when we're working. That's the last thing you want when you're modeling a character like this or something detailed. All right, so now the belt's prepared. Now we're gonna come back to this now, the jacket, and start detailing it. So basically, I want that little pucker that's out here. So to do this, so in order to do that, I want to actually we're gonna take advantage of the symmetry on this model. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna add a subdivision level. We're 100,000 polygons now, or 180,000. Then do one more time. Yeah, that should be plenty right there for us. We don't need any more polygons after this. So now we're gonna go ahead now and we're gonna hide this one and this, and we're gonna hide the other side too. And now, if you saw the other video we did this manually, but now I'm going to show you how really powerful this is using the deformers in ZBrush. So we're going to hide this now. Actually, I'm going to clear the masking this too, because we don't want, some odd reason we do a full mask. You will lose all this information. So we don't want that happening to us. Let me go in there and paint it manually, because what happens is some reason when you paint with ZBrush, the masking doesn't always stick when you do a painting. You paint your model like this. I normally don't use the marquee tool. If you want to do local masking, I always paint it out by hand or something. So I'm gonna do the same thing here in this. You know, paint out any extra masking you don't want to see on this. Okay. Alright, seems like overkill, but we're gonna make it look good. So there we go. That's as clean as we're gonna get it. And now we're gonna go use the deformer tools and give it an inflate. You go to 2. That's pretty heavy-handed. So I'm gonna go to 1 and see what it looks like. I usually use something like this. I want to make sure it's yeah, it's not working for us. So we're gonna try something. We're gonna go back and yeah, that isn't working. So we're gonna go ahead and use the brush on method again. So basically, you look at my hoodie. There's a little pucker right here. I want this it'll basically rise over your cloth, so you'll get it looking like it's raised. So that's what we want. So I'm gonna go ahead with the standard brush. Mask still there, and we're gonna go ahead and very slowly. Oops. Okay, actually go slow the intensity a little bit. Too strong. Yeah, I'm trying to go in and see. Here we go. It's a little heavy. It's a little heavy-handed, so I'm trying to. It's a little heavy-handed, so I'm going to try to find a sweet spot within the weights. Here we go. So I'm painting forward of this mask. It's sometimes not an easy thing to do. I did something earlier with this. Let me set my brushes. That's better. And basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go in and there we go. Make it a bit more pressure sensitive. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it won't. And there are times I get very heavy-handed with ZBrush's tools. Actually, okay, so not working at all. So we're gonna try another method. Yeah, sometimes too, when I'm sitting here working, I usually will think about my processes and what I want done in my model. So I can do that there too, but also remember as well, you have other groups there, polygons that need to be selected. So actually, now I think about it. Now that I think about it, now we're gonna go ahead and pick all of the pieces of your model. Yeah, so pick all the little panels there. I'm having a hard time trying to get it where I want it. So there. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna very carefully inflate all of this together. So this is the first phase of the detailing of the robe. So right now, this is the little shell we have for the robe. All the little trims that we added originally, and then we're going to paint mask on this. You want to paint a mask, because if you don't paint a mask, it's gonna look weird. It's gonna be a little tougher. You want the inner part of the coat raised a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead now and actually do this. We're gonna paint it. With a big brush, like this. Yep, and going in. Make sure you get every little detail in there if you can. You know, and also too, when I work a lot, my models, I don't stay in one place. I try to figure things out too as I'm working. Some people do it different than others. Others prefer to work straight on. Others will work differently. I prefer to do it this way. You know, jump around and get ideas of what it will look like. Turn the mask off, and then we'll go to deformation. Go to inflate. Basically, you don't want to do it too much. You want just enough to, just a little bit to a little more on this one. So kind of go in there a little bit more. Kind of see how it looks like with the pillowing on there, and then we're gonna do the same thing with the other pieces as well. You know, give the illusion of like a pocket of some sorts, like it's kind of got little bathrobes. You know, the bathrobe you have, like your parents had, you were a kid. It's kind of it had the really cool trim on it. It's kind of like that, and I basically want to make sure that when I do the ballooning on there, I think it's too much. Do a little more. I think 0.75 should be appropriate for the beveling. Smoothing, trying to smooth a little bit. Cool. And basically, what we're doing essentially is trying to get the illusion of softness on the edge there. Yeah, let's do a little more gusto. We're trying to get in there and make it look softer. So, okay, here we go. Yeah, so I'm just going back and forth and trying to see what looks good to me. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. All right, so I'll go with that for now. And what they do next is I want to invert the mask. We're going to invert the mask, and we're going to grow the mask a little bit. We'll grow the mask a little bit, sharpen it, and what this should do, it should give the illusion that there's Yep, there we go. It'll give the illusion of the cloth, like the cloth like pillowing over the geometry a little bit. Let's go ahead and let's go to grow mask a little more. Another grow mask, another sharpen. Actually, let's take a second. I can actually see how it will look like if I do it this way. 0.4. I'm gonna hide the mask so I can see what it looks like. That's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, so I think the way I have a 4 is pretty good. I'm gonna go back and to 0.3. Okay, so I think that's acceptable for what I'm going for, at least as far as the cloth's concerned. All right, so I'll go for that. I guess. So that'll work for now. So now then, we need to create a little separation here on the side of the model here. So we're going to do that. So we'll go ahead and clear the mask, show the poly groups again, and like the shirt, I want this pucker to be more forward and back. So we're going to go ahead and hide this map, hide that, hide this, hide that, and we're going to basically hide all the poly groups that are ahead of the that are ahead of the model. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead now and mask and basically paint the mask on all this. And I'm also working with a Wacom Tiled bamboo. I have had it for a number of years. It was given to me as a gift by a great friend of mine. You know, who I think was, I think they were psychic when he realized. I think they were psychic when he realized I needed a tablet. One more thing, we hide the inside too. Actually, hide the front as well. There we go. The front panel. Make sure I get all the pieces in front when I do my masking. So, all right. So let's go ahead and paint all this up. And hopefully someday my tablet, I'll graduate to a Cintiq Companion or Windows Surface. The what do you call it? What's that big tablet they have out now? The that big 30-inch tablet that costs like $3,000, and you have to sell your soul for it. That kind of thing. It's nice device, but you know, I would never spend $3 grand something like that. You know, not until I get to my my better career. So actually, this is serendipity here. By hiding all the poly groups, we can now do all the seams for this at once. So I'm going to start at top because that's easiest for me to work with. You know, actually, what I can also do as well is I can raise do a little more higher division level, a little higher on it. Actually, let's go back a little bit because I think we will definitely need a little more subdivision level on this model. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a quick. Didn't want to, but whatever. I can always go back. I can always dial down if I need more subdivisions in my model. So like earlier, we're gonna hide all this. We're gonna hide all this. And yes, I do tend to jump around a lot in my work, which is okay. We as artists, we like to explore different possibilities of our work. So it's important to us that we explore. And I encourage every artist out there who does this as a hobby or as a career, you know, and I'm hoping that I have the same opportunity to do this as a career choice. But you know, I encourage you all to go out there and explore art. You know, basically, if you're ever need inspiration, you know, go outside. You know, even at work, you definitely want to gain inspiration this way. You know. Especially for kids who are just learning about computer graphics, you know, the one thing I always encourage kids to do is to go out there and learn. You know, don't be afraid to learn new things as an artist, because that's what makes us grow. You know, it's all about the learning experience as artists. So I'm kind of going back now and redoing work I just did, which sometimes happens. Basically, I want a super sharp edge right there, and it's gonna be smoothed out too once I actually do this portion. I'm kind of going in there and trying to get a feel for it. Let's go to 7. Yeah, I think 7. Yeah, 0.75 is perfect for what we're trying to do. Okay. Now we're going to show the mask again. Show the mask, and I'm going to invert that mask. I'm going to grow it. Do a little growth, 2 notches, and then we're going to deform it and see how it looks like with the deformers attached. So 0.3 for this one, just to give the illusion of the trim being smoothed around the surface. And I'm probably gonna do it inflate. Probably do a slight inflate balloon on this later if I see fit. I can think because it's we're at too many polygons, and there we go. Looks pretty good here. We'll go to another inflate. And a slight balloon on this one. And I'm probably gonna go in a little later manually and inflate all these parts a little bit later. Anyway, so it looks pretty good. You know. All right, so that looks pretty good. We'll go to the next thing. So now I'm gonna go back my earlier point and basically hide like most of these parts since you want the illusion of a seam line, you want to have it drawn forward. I personally it's a matter of preference, but I prefer a seam line like the top of the shoulder and sides that face forward. It'll give the illusion of extra cloth complexity. So let's go here real quick and actually, I'm going to hide that. Actually, I wanted to hide all the front panes. Oh, and also going to save too. That's the one thing about ZBrush you gotta love, that quick save button. The old saying goes, save early, save often. So, and also too, let me close I'm running out of memory. I'm running out of memory here, so I need to close the program. I've been sitting here working my model, so it's important to try to sense of all it. All right, so while this thing processes, I'm gonna pause here for a second and close out the programs. Hey guys, sorry about that. Had a slight little technical issue here, but we're back up. And of course, I made sure that I saved my work before I did any more to it. So what I need to do now is I need to go back and hide all the front panels here. It should be better if I go lower subdivision level. There we go. That's the beauty of ZBrush too, is you can go down to any subdivision level in your work, and you'll have no problem working again. You have no problem working. Okay, so this here, I'm gonna go ahead now, and I want seam lines in the front of our mesh. So we're gonna do exactly that. I'll take the polyframe off so that I can gain a little more performance. And someday, guys, I'll have some. And pretty soon, I'll have a new machine that's capable of handling all these polygons on screen. So I'll go ahead now, real quick, and yeah, there we go. You would definitely need to unhide a lot of the scraps. I'll admit the current design makes the model look bloated, but looking at it from this angle, looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead now and paint the visual seams on our model. Actually, too, after I do all that, I want to pull this forward a little bit too. That's the advantage of ZBrush we have here. It's a little harder to do and something in Model Designer, because it's it's a cloth based, it's all cloth simulation. That's not as quick and easy as this. I'll go ahead now and do a build up brush. Okay, I'm gonna set that to a low intensity so that it's not so heavy handed. And lower the draw size a little bit. And if my luck works, we'll have filtering effect on our mesh there. To our view mask. Oops. And basically, you want to brush ahead of the mask a little bit, so that, yeah, that's what I was afraid of too. I was afraid of the underdrawing of the mask showing up, so we're gonna fix that too. Before we do anything, let me actually go in there. There we go. I'm going in real quick, and I'm at a enable a feature called called backface masking, so that we don't accidentally paint on our mask. And actually, too, I was actually going to now I think about it now, instead of having it over, I'm going to actually poke in the bottom of it. So instead of it poking up, I'm going to bring it down. So let's try this. Hold the Alt key, and then I'm just gonna brush very gently. I'm gonna brush very gently. Brush very gently on the mask, so that it'll poke down, so it'll go down, and so that the both pieces will it'll like go down, and then it'll pillow over pillow over everything. This will give the illusion that the cloth is made of more than one piece. This won't be seen underneath, it won't matter much. So basically, you want to try to, like, you know, go in there and etch some detail on this. I'm trying to look for my Damien standard brush. At the time here, I've been going on for a little while. Just very gently going. Let's go across the seam very gently, and then we'll go ahead and pillow around this. Basically, you'll never see the model from this distance, but when I'm working my characters, I like to cover every possible instance where you'll see the model awkwardly. You probably never see it like this, but kind of trying to go in and give the illusion of like it's been like the seam has been sucked by a limit or something. Going in real quick and changing, going real quick and have the appearance of a sucked in piece of geometry. You know, I think when I was growing up, what I learned how to sew stuff, and it's probably been my favorite part of my design process, learning how to like stitch and sew clothing together. Going back a little bit, I didn't like that little seam there. Alright, so you've already gone back enough. Lower subdivision level. And now I'm just gonna brush over this, like literally brush over it, like a very gentle brushing over the surface. Okay. You also too want to remember that you are seam line. You made seam lines earlier. These little seam lines. You don't want to. You do not make sure you do. If I smooth over them, don't smooth over them. So I'm going to very carefully. I'm going to very carefully just paint over that line. Very carefully, because what happens is, if I go too heavy on it, see, notice how it got soft. The higher you go on this one, like you go hard on this lower level. If you climb up, it'll give the illusion of it looking soft. And that's what you want. So I'm kind of going a little bit, just gently, very gently go over the seam. It'll give the illusion that the robe is made of many pieces instead of one huge polygonal mass, which is great, but you know, we don't want that look. You know, we're trying to give the illusion that the cloth feels complicated. You also notice here, you also notice as well, I'm still using the long high sculpt material. It's actually really good. I like it personally. It's actually it's actually a great material too for viewing things in real time. And I'm gonna go heavy here because you're not gonna see, you won't see anything past this small point there. So I'm kind of going in with the strength of the brush, brushing everything in carefully. And also bear in mind too that symmetry is still enabled on this, so That's another great thing about this process. I'm gonna fix this part right here a little bit. Kind of. Yeah, kind of going in a little bit. And see right there, I lost some of the detail. This is ZBrush. I can always get it back if I lose anything. Right here, it's now looks softer now. And I'm also going to go in as well on the other side of this as well, and pucker that part up. You know, basically I want the illusion of the fabric being like, you know, like a t-shirt seam. I don't know how to describe it, but it's basically pretty much like you know, looks like a sucked in lemon or something. Like you're you know, you're taking two pieces of paper and you pinch them. You fold paper in half. You fold paper in half and you bend it back and you see a little like a pucker kind of look. It's kind of explained, but I'll probably show something like this some other time. Real quick. Actually, that's it. Actually, that part. And up to this point, we've been working with full symmetry. To this point. So now we need to create separation for this part as well. And hide that. I'm gonna go ahead and this part here. And I guess I'm probably gonna do. Let's see, do like. You know, I guess I'll have the illusion of the jacket being held together. Two pieces. And the best part about this is I can always go back and change this if I don't like it. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but you know. And also, in actuality, this robe can be a pullover. Yeah, I'm thinking about that now. This robe could work. This is a real robe. It'll work as a pullover. So I can just go ahead and just real quick just add some detail there. So let's do that now. Okay, just too much there. Yeah, so I'm trying another method. Use a Damien thinner brush, and I'll turn up lazy mouse all the way up to a pretty high setting so that we get the brush. Here we go. Okay, actually, we don't want that. Oh boy, thunder. Well, it is April, so we got a little thunder over here in Boston. Hey. Here we go. And we'll basically work with this. And then probably a little later, after I my detail pass, I could go ahead and just pillow all the stuff out so that it'll look a little more complete. You know, and less actually if I didn't have any of these at all, I could like, you know, create a physical scene, but I'm not gonna do any of that. All right. So now the next part of this, we're gonna take a break from the coat for a minute, and we're gonna come back to the straps. Now the straps are another important element to the character as well, and we're gonna use it to our advantage today. So we go ahead and they've already been processed so that we can actually get the model looking plastic on this. So the straps are going to be easy to do, but except that I kind of want a certain detail on the straps, on the strapping here. So I thought about, you know, like little, like maybe buttons of some sort. So I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna create buttons on this bad boy, and we're gonna make it happen, right? Ooh. So let's do that by, we're gonna do that too. Actually, I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to use Moto for this or do it here in ZBrush using Z modeler tools. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Moto because there's actually, I definitely want to try the procedural modeling tools for this workflow. I haven't used them yet, so it's going to be very interesting to see what transpires. So first, let me go ahead and actually, I'm actually going to go ahead and first off, I'm going to add some sort of inset on this so that it'll look, I think it's, there we go, I'm looking for the other edge of this. Here we go. So the zero modeler tool, I'm going to go ahead now and, you know, give a little inset to that so that it'll look a little more appropriate for what we're trying to do. So go to Inset Polygons and hit all polygons, and then I'm going to go ahead and give a slight inset. Oops. Actually, you want inset region. So and noting that too, it did all the polygons. Right now, it's not what I'm looking for. All right, so I guess we'll take this into Moto and do it that way. So hit Go Z. And Go Z, what Go Z does, it goes through all the subtools in our scene and we'll work them out. And you're probably noticing right now that I didn't, you're probably noticing now that I didn't cut or anything like that. I want you to, well, it's after the snapping it earlier, I want you to see how it all works. And I'm at home right now too, so basically we're getting a little bit of thunder here. So, you know, you'll probably hear some banging, hear some thunder flashing, and you know, people in the next room talking. That's cool. That's the beauty of, you know, making things personal. So we'll wait for Moto to open up. So, and usually my time is spent like on all hours doing 3D modeling and rendering this. You know, I could probably, if I wasn't recording this, I'd probably be here like 3 o'clock in the morning just tweaking and fixing my model until it looks appropriate. Give it a second here to load up. Right, there we go. Closing it. There we go. All right, so we're now going to go ahead and send to Go Z. I think it's the Go Z. And what Go Z will do is it will send the mesh to Moto, and here we are. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a quick inset on this. It should be okay. It should be okay by the time we do all this. So let's go ahead and all these. And I've already realized that the not the same. Yeah, give it about a 2.35 millimeter. I'm not sure what that is in inches, but there we go. We do it like that. And I'm gonna go ahead now and so I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna fit my little button on here. So that done, we'll go ahead now to back to Modo. I mean, back to ZBrush. And what I want to do, what I want to plan out right now is the little buttons for this. Let's give it a second here because you know, with GoZ, there we go. It's already gone in, so we're gonna go ahead now, and we're gonna go ahead and give it a little thickness on this. So, same as before, we're gonna go to panel loops and see. We're gonna go to panel loops and see what it looks like when I keep it as low as possible too, so that we don't get. Let's go to 0.003. All right, that looks pretty good. I'll go a little lower than that. All right, good. So now with this here, not that. If I do anything else, I want a poly group on this. So I can give like the illusion of like a pillowing effect over the this. Here we go. And we'll do panel loops again. Panel loops. Actually, looking at it again, let's see if I can hit the. Actually, that's pretty good. I like that. Pillow, that kind of a pillow effect. Right there. And not only that too, I'm trying to keep the polygons intact so that when we go ahead and you go ahead and make a low poly normal. Wait a second, kind of wrap that. There you go. And do panel loops. And I also want to make sure that when we do panel loops, we keep our details intact. That. And so we get back to this, I'll be able to, like, you know, add a softness effect to the borders of this. So now the fun part comes. I'm going to go ahead and make a button that can be drawn on this. So we're gonna go ahead and take this to Modo again. All right, so now I'm going to my front view, and I want to make a button for this. Make a little emblem or some sort of detail for this. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to name this there. You can hear thunder over our head here. So we'll call this button cup. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and create a cylinder in this. So go to basic tab. And for those of you using Modo, this is a nice little crash course for you using the tools. Go ahead and create a button. Have it facing me. And have it 3 centimeters. And again, of course, I'm not familiar with the metric system, so I apologize if I got the numbers incorrect here. Actually, let's not do that. Actually, I'm gonna go here in the bottom here, and we'll set the sides to 18. I want to go about it. See what we got here. All right, so button cup. Add an operator. Go to mesh and go ahead and add a what is it? Create a primitive. Go create a cylinder. And here's where the power of Modo comes into play. So basically, It's probably really big right now. I'm trying to find the model here, see what it looks like. Radius 24, single polygon. I'm trying to see. Basically, I'm still learning how to use this procedural system. It's really small right now. Like that. It's kind of weird. I can't find my model all of a sudden. Create a mesh. Add an operator. Yes, trying to find my model here. I can't seem to find it. Unless it's really tiny or something. It's kind of weird there, but trying to get here with it. Yeah, so I'm having some weird issues here trying to find my model, and basically it's not showing up. So I guess we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, I'm trying to find the model here, and it's not showing up for some reason. So we'll do this the old-fashioned way for now. So right now I have 12. I have 18 sides, and I want to keep the 7's low, so it's kind of long this right now. So I'm gonna bring it down a little bit to about half a centimeter. We'll change the 7 to like 1. I basically want to keep this like a really thin button. I'm gonna go ahead and this, and we'll start bringing in the model. We'll bring in the polygons a little bit. Go ahead and do an inset. It's a small inset. So we're gonna do. I plan on taking the edges here and making them smooth. So I'm gonna go. It's kind of a big button there, but it's okay. What we're doing is we're actually gonna create an insert brush for this particular model here. So do another bevel. Actually, I want to push yeah, I want to try these operators. I'm gonna go ahead and go to edit here, and let's see. This part is kind of cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and add operator. Let's add a polygon bevel. And go inset it. Actually, that. Pick the polygon, add a bevel operator on it, and basically, if all goes well, it should inset proper. So I'm gonna. I'm trying to oh, here we go. For some odd reason it's not on the operator. I don't know what's going on with it. Add a tool pipe. Let's see. basically this is my first time using this particular tool set, so I'm gonna like really sit down and like get an idea of how it works. I don't want to pull this out. Oh. It's a nice little thing you have here though. I like how they, they really went ahead and, made this a really powerful tool. Modeling. I'm trying one more time, and then we'll go ahead and do the old-fashioned way with the modeling. I'm still getting used to like modeling with the model. So pick the bevel operator. Kind of carefully go in there and this isn't working. So I guess I'm gonna go the old-fashioned way with this. Delete that. Go ahead and just just very quickly bevel this in. Pinch it about a couple of about a couple millimeters. Then bevel again. Pull this out. And what I'm doing here now is basically making this little cup here. You're probably noticing that now that I actually haven't made any cuts or anything, or edits for that matter. This is basically I'm gonna have like a gold, I guess a brass button, and have middle be like an emerald or something, like that. So I'm gonna do this. Call it emerald, and this is going to be like an insert brush that I use in the models. Go ahead and back. Actually, I want the polygons up front, so I'm gonna go ahead and rotate it. It's 180. There we go. Now the emeralds. We're gonna go ahead now and add a sphere to this, and we're gonna go ahead and face the y-axis. So right now it's a 1 inch emerald. I'm gonna do it a point like a 3/4 inch emerald of some sort. So I'm gonna take this right here, just model it. And another thing to do next is I'm going to cut this in half. So right here, this edge, cut it in half. I'm going to cut it right here. Split it right there. Because I only need half the sphere. I'm going to flatten it out. Okay. Another thing too I want to also do is I want to on the back of the polygon, back of the button cup, polygon for this, and go ahead and bevel that. It's not going to matter much either when we do this, because I'm going to basically this is like a base for my little poly. So I'm gonna make sure to keep a copy of this somewhere so that I don't lose. So that when I model this, I can always come back to it later if need be. And this right here, this emerald right here, this little circle, I want this to like, it'll actually give you the illusion that's has a lot of extra detail in it. All right, so let's continue. Let's keep modeling. I'm gonna go ahead now and at the button cup, I'm gonna bevel this and do another inset. But right at the border of the emerald, so that it gives the illusion that there's actually that emerald and this button is separate. Okay, so I'm gonna do another one, another inset. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. Turn on default so you can see what I'm doing. And basically, this will give the illusion of the model being in there. Like if I go ahead and smooth it, give it a quick smooth. This is what I want the button to look like when it pops out. Actually, I'll probably shrink this a little more. Give it a little more. Shrink it out a little bit. Not much, just a little. Here we go. Okay. You know, it's one of those buttons you find like on a coat, or something like that, or some sort of fancy jacket. Hide this, and then we'll go ahead and just give a quick little inset and then another set, and then collapse it. There you go. So basically, this is what it looks like when you bring the ZBrush. I mean, as basic as it is, we're gonna use this as an insert brush. All right, so I'm gonna go to ZBrush real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead to one of these. I'm gonna go Z. All right. Now on ZBrush, now what we're gonna do now with this is we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and crease this. Creasing will actually give the illusion of it having more depth and detail. Actually, also one thing too to note is I also need to remove wait a minute. All right. What? Check something. Check the center of this. Freeze all. And this button cup into the freeze all. Alright, there we go. You want to make sure it was centered too, which is another thing that's important. It's not centered. Go ahead and preferences and get rid of the GoZ stuff. Right now, it's been with the cache files. Here we go. Alright, so we'll give it a minute to like to actually import. And while it imports, I'm gonna stop the video here because we're going over a little bit longer than we wanted to. But when I get back, I'm gonna continue detailing this. So until next time, thank you for watching this video. Leave a like, you know, give a comment, you know, hey, feel free to leave a comment below, you know, let me know what you think of it. And always subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye now.